This is Due to Bet Sports.
What is up, everybody? Welcome back to Due to Bet Sports. We are back for a special Wednesday show, a day before the NFL season starts, and we've also got college football going as well. So a full show today of college football and the NFL. Papa Dude, you've got a little bit of a recap of what happened this week. So we'll kick off the show with that. I should say what happened last week to kick off the show this week. So, all right, what do you got for us?
Well, I got 4 different categories just for fun. People in the chat join in if you got something different or if you disagree, or you, of course, as well. My first, I think I have my most impressive teams or victories. Now, again, I think ESPN does this too, an overreaction, because we always overreact to the first week.
Yeah.
Things will change as the season goes along. But I have 5 teams that I thought were really, really impressive, and it pains me to say 2 of them.
Okay.
Because we didn't think much of them when we did our pre-season thing. You got to start off with Georgia, I think. Just a methodical ass kicking. Just wore them down. Clemson hung in there as long as they could, but then eventually, when you can't move the ball, you're going to tire out, and Georgia, that's where they get you. So I was very impressed with them. I thought they looked great. This one I hate to bring up, but I thought USC was really good. I really did. I was very impressed with them, their physicality. They went toe-to-toe with them. I really was impressed. I think their quarterback is going to be good.
Yeah, he looked good.
He was the difference in the game, I think.
Yep.
But totally different looking team, wouldn't you say? Now, again, it's only 1 week, and LSU has a tendency to not play well in that first game for some freaking reason. But I thought USC was really impressive, and I'm sure you did too, right? Hate to admit it, but they did.
I don't know what either one of them are. I didn't come away from that game thinking either one of them were great. I'll tell you that.
No, but I just thought it was a different looking USC team.
I think the way USC won is really the best part of it. I think being able to win a big game and not have to win it 45-38 is huge.
I know it.
I looked at the USC, LSU, and the Notre Dame A&M game, and I thought, I'm not sure either one of these teams are that good, to be honest.
But it was an impressive win.
Yeah.
Right.
Listen, it's a huge win for USC.
Yeah.
Massive win.
And the thing about it, and they mentioned it on the broadcast, Herb Street did, and it's overlooked a lot about Lincoln Riley. He likes to run the football.
Yeah.
And they went back to running the ball. They got a couple of backs that were very impressive. And they didn't do that with Caleb.
Yeah.
So it's back to more of his style. And then I was on Twitter a little bit. I hardly ever get on there, but one of the OU guys made the comment, and it's true. Last minute drives, who's better than Lincoln Riley?
Yeah. Yeah.
He's superior when it gets to that. So very impressive win. I do have Notre Dame listed because when you go into Texas A&M on an opening night like that and you beat them, it's an impressive win.
100% agree. I don't think either of them are that great, but I do think that was a very good win for Notre Dame, no doubt. Yeah.
And with their schedule, if they're any good at all, they're going. I don't see anybody beating them until maybe USC. We don't know what USC is going to be by that time. We don't know what Notre Dame is going to be by that time.
Listen, I think, again, and I don't want to downplay either one of those wins. Those are great wins for those two schools. And again, I didn't necessarily come away from both of those thinking they're great teams, but I did come away thinking that was an impressive win.
It was.
Sure. Yeah.
Of course, the other one's Miami. Just going in there and kicking the dog shit out of Florida.
That was the most impressive one, unless Florida is just absolute garbage.
I think they are.
It's possible, but if Florida say they win 6 or 7 or 8, which is crazy to say after what just happened, then that becomes more impressive. But that was a domination start.
It was from the get-go. And they seem to have found a quarterback. Again, we don't know what Florida is. We don't know. they could be a 3-win team the way they looked.
I think Florida definitely, when you're talking about A&M, you're talking about LSU and the 2 wins that USC and Notre Dame got over them. Florida is definitely the lesser of those 3 for sure.
God, yes.
They looked really bad.
Yeah. And now after, again, overreaction, we're overreacting. But when you look at the ACC, Miami's clear the best team right now.
I mean,
after 1 week.
After 1 week,
yeah.
They certainly. Yeah.
And then I listed this team. I'm not necessarily saying it was the most impressive win, but with everything considered, I thought Alabama came out and did exactly what they needed to do.
Yep.
To silence everybody.
Yep.
And before I forget it, Nick Saban on College Game Day. I don't know whether you got to see it or not, Aaron.
See it now.
He is fantastic.
That's awesome.
He is. I don't know whether you saw that. Did you see what he said about buying players?
No.
Oh, this is classic. They were talking about. It might have been. It was somebody that wasn't very. I can't remember who they were talking about, but they got beat, and he was talking about buying players. And he goes something like this. He goes, "Hey, if you don't buy the players, you don't buy the best players, you're shit out of luck." That's exactly what he said. I thought that they just went nuts whenever he said that. And he's going to be great on there because
that's awesome.
Oh, it was like he said, "You're shit out of luck when you buy the wrong ones."
I love that.
I don't know who he was. I can't remember who he was talking about, but it had to be somebody that played Thursday or Friday, though. Because,
That's
anyway.
Great.
The least impressive, obviously, I think Oregon.
So,
did you look at the stats of that game?
I don't understand how they only won that game 24.
I don't either.
I will be very honest. I did not watch it because there were games on that you want to watch, and Oregon, Idaho was not one. I turned it over there when it got close or when it was close. I looked at the box score and expecting to see, oh man, Dylan must have been awful and this and that. I have no idea how it was 24-14.
I don't know either. When you look at the stats, they gained like 500 yards. Idaho had like 200.
Yeah.
I think Oregon had 1 turnover. I was expecting 5 or 6 fumbles.
They got stopped on downs like 3 or 4 times.
Well, that's not impressive at all. But
I wouldn't be worried about it if I was.
But that was a weird game.
Yeah, strange.
Of course, the least impressive team of everybody is Florida State.
Yeah, it's obvious.
It's just a train wreck.
Yep.
If I was coaching, I would just make a quarterback change if you've got one and forget it. Yeah. And I'm not blaming it all on him because they can't stop anybody either.
No,
they can't stop the run.
Nope.
But he can't make a play when you got to have it. And Clemson, of course, very unimpressive again. They don't have a quarterback. I thought LSU was not very impressive as well. And my sleeper team, Virginia Tech.
Yeah.
That is just, I was watching that game mainly because they were making a fool out of me because I was, bragging them up, playing them up. And so I got to watching that game because the Georgia Clemson game was a blowout. So I turned it over to that. And it was a very good game. And by the way, Vanderbilt's quarterback is pretty darn good.
Yeah, he played a good game.
He did. But I think it was Vanderbilt scored first in the overtime, right?
Mm-hmm.
The worst play call I've ever seen in my life. Okay. You probably weren't watching. But in overtime, it was 2nd down and 6. And Virginia Tech's quarterback got hurt at the end of regulation.
Mm-hmm.
Hurt his leg.
Right.
So it's 2nd down and 6. They're on about the 6 or 7 yard line. They put him back in the game. And they run him.
Yeah.
Why? So then he hurts the leg again, and he's done. He has to come out. He loses 2 yards or something like that, and then you got this kid that can't throw the ball that has to come in. That's the dumbest play call I've ever seen in my life.
Well, it comes back to this for me, and I said this last week, and I'm just as guilty as anybody else. We get these schedules in the
Yeah.
preseason, and we go win, they'll
Yep.
win here, they'll win here, and
Yep.
when it's a team like Virginia Tech, those are not automatic
No.
wins.
No.
They're not. That's what separates teams like Virginia Tech with like the real good teams, where you can obviously say Georgia's going to go beat Vanderbilt. You can't say that about Virginia
No.
Tech, and
We
that's
could have
what
10
it
years
comes
ago,
down
but
to.
we can't now. We can't now. 10
No.
years ago, we could have. But
Yeah,
not now.
but I mean that's just how it is. And,
Yeah, I just understand. I don't understand. If you're going to put that kid back in and he's got a bad leg, why do you run him?
yeah,
Once you put him in to throw it, because you got your other kid can't throw the ball.
right. Yeah.
This is
I mean,
dumbest
they were in a
thing.
bad spot. It was, and sometimes that happens. You're in a close game that
Yeah.
you really, it shouldn't be close. And then something like that happens, and then you're in a bad spot. Yeah.
Yeah. I think there's 4 teams that obviously have no quarterbacks. We've already kind of talked about them. Florida State is one. LSU, I think he's terrible. I thought that was kind of the difference in the game. USC's quarterback was better.
I don't think he's terrible. I wouldn't say Nussmeier's terrible. I just don't think he's as good as what you kind of sell him as in the preseason.
They're not gonna be a factor, I don't think, in the SEC.
I think they've got other problems that are worse.
They may.
I would say that, but I don't disagree though. He's not great. No.
Texas A&M, same thing.
Well, Texas A&M was just painfully obvious. If they had a quarterback, they win that game.
They win the game.
He couldn't make any plays.
No, and again, year after year after year, Texas A&M does not have a quarterback.
Yeah.
How in the hell does that happen?
I don't know.
You got millions of quarterbacks from Texas playing all over the country.
Yeah,
and
they
you
can't
don't get one.
Well,
what the hell?
They got Manziel, and wins they just haven't had another one. I mean,
I guarantee you, Manziel was not highly recruited. I mean, I bet he wasn't a huge prospect. Look at his size.
Yeah,
and they lucked into him, but they haven't had anybody since.
Yeah, I mean, Connor Wigman was just bad, flat out.
He's awful.
Yeah,
you can't win anywhere with that kind of quarterback play.
Yep,
you just can't. I mean, you can beat the average teams, but you ain't going to beat the good ones. Of course, Clemson's the other team.
I don't think you're going to beat the average teams because they played an average team at home and they couldn't beat them.
That's true. And then Clemson's the other one. Again, we've already kind of talked about these. The best wins, Notre Dame, USC, Miami. And I put Vanderbilt down. That's a huge win for them. And suddenly when you look now, they got a game next week or this week. They play Alcorn State. They'll probably be flat, and that'll be end up being close probably. But they should win. They still got Ball State on the schedule. South Carolina's winnable. Who knows?
If you bet Vanderbilt over 2.5, you're feeling very good.
Yeah, you are right now.
No doubt.
Sure, because they stole one in that one. But I say stole it. They were ahead the whole game.
Yeah, really, you could almost say Vanderbilt blew it because it looked like they were going to blow that game, and it's like, wow. And then they ended up winning it.
Yeah. And, when they missed that field goal to win it in regulation, Virginia Tech should have won the game. And
you felt like then for sure is like, well, they're going to lose, in typical fashion here.
Absolutely. Were you like me? Knew he was going to miss it. I just knew he was going to miss it.
Yeah, and I had no confidence in him making it, and had no confidence in him winning, even when they were up a couple scores. Just thought, they'll find a way to lose. And
they tried, but they did.
They did try. Sometimes that kind of will change your momentum just a little bit. You mentioned it. We always, just say, hey, everybody's going to beat Vanderbilt, and then you look at what South Carolina did, and you're like, well, they might be able to beat them. Again, it's just 1 week. I expect South Carolina to be better this week, but we'll get to that in a second.
So that's what I had. Can you think of anything else to recap?
No, I think you covered it pretty well. Obviously it's been talked to death about. We don't need to talk about it anymore about the Florida State situation. That's the worst. Yeah. And Florida is probably the second worst right now.
Yeah.
We talked about, the panic button and how it's going to get pressed. And those are the two that we kind of mentioned on the show last week. And here we are,
I heard of somebody else talking. Florida plays Miami, which already drubbed them.
Right.
They have South Florida.
Mm-hmm.
and they're not bad. And then the Florida State game, who knows on that one? But that's possible they could lose to all three of the major Florida teams. Well, they don't play Central Florida, but anyway.
Yeah.
And I think if they continue to flounder, they're going to have to make a move.
Yeah, it's gonna get bad, and I would think we're going to see that. I think he'll be the first one to get fired.
Well,
Florida.
he's
close now. So
yeah, he is. Yeah, he is.
Yeah, I think that wraps it up, though. Yeah, that's pretty good recap of what happened, and it definitely was, for the most part, a pretty formful week, except for a few little things here or there that you covered. So
it was a great week, I thought.
Yeah, even like the Thursday night game, I thought the Colorado North Dakota State game was really good.
Very interesting.
I thought North Carolina and Minnesota, maybe it was a little bit more of on the boring side, but it was a good game.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, there was some good stuff.
It was great to see it back, wasn't it?
For sure. Now, with that being said, we got week 2, and we're going to kick it off here. And now we'll get to the picks portion of it. Looking ahead to this weekend, there are games on Friday, no ranked games. So we're going to go through the ranked games. And then I've got a few games from the Discord we want to go over. And then if you've got a few games as well, we'll go over. We'll start with the headliner, really a top 10 matchup. I don't know if Michigan's a true top 10 team. We're going to find out. They're at home taking on number 3 Texas, and Texas is a 7.5-point favorite on the road. Texas dominates Colorado State. Michigan didn't quite dominate Fresno State, but they did win the game. What's going to happen in Ann Arbor?
7.5. I don't know. Texas, I didn't watch it, but they did exactly what they were supposed to do. They just went out and blew Colorado State off the field, which isn't impressive.
Yeah.
You know, Fresno State's pretty good, and Michigan pulled away from them late, which is what you kind of expect a really good team to do that's struggling a little bit on offense. So I think that's going to be the difference in the game. I think they'll be able to slow Texas down some, but I think Texas can slow Michigan down enough to where they're going to win. The deal is the points, is it too many?
Yeah.
It opened at 7. It's up to 7.5. I just can't pick Michigan at this point. I just don't think they've got enough offense to beat them. You got to score. Texas is going to score some points, I think.
Yeah.
And I think they can. I think a good defensive effort for Michigan would be to hold them to 24.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
Yeah. And I don't know if Michigan can score 24.
Yep.
So I got to go with Texas, as bad as I hate to. I hope I'm wrong. I just think they're better.
I think they're a better team, and I think that Texas has definitely caught this Michigan team at a good time. I think Michigan is going to be a get better throughout the season type of team.
Yep.
They pretty much looked how we thought they would look week 1. Good enough to beat Fresno, but didn't look very good. And then obviously I mean, Texas did what they're supposed to do in that game, so I don't really take a lot of stock in it. But I think they're going to be. I think Texas is going to win double digits. Honestly,
I just think they have too much offense. And
I agree. I think they're going to be.
And in college football today, you got to be able to score some points. You just have to.
Yeah, you're not. Great defense, like you said, would be holding Texas to 24 points. That's what college football is now, and. You said it. Even if they play great and hold Texas to 24, now Michigan might cover if they do that, but I still don't think they'll win the game.
I don't either.
And then I think it's more likely Texas is going to get to like 38. And if Texas gets to 38, Texas is covering.
Cover.
Yeah. So
yeah.
All right, we're both on the Longhorns. All right, we'll talk a little bit here. This is a team you could have listed on your list of most impressive. Penn State went on the road last week, and it was a no-nonsense kind of beat down, really, on the road at West Virginia. That's not easy. We kind of speculated that might be tough for them. They're home now against Bowling Green. They're minus 35, so obviously a huge favorite. But I think, I'm on Penn State. I think they'll beat Bowling Green by more than 35. But past that, I mean, what were your kind of thoughts on Penn State?
I almost listed them. In fact, I almost mentioned them while I was running down through here. Very impressive. And the other thing they had to go through, they had a massive delay, weather delay. And
I
sometimes
felt like when I saw that, I was like, this might have something weird written all over it.
it
And
was, I think it was 14-6 whenever
yep,
that happened or
they came
something
out and
like that.
just killed them though.
Yeah, they did. And sometimes when you're on the road and you have a weather delay like that, it's kind of a tough situation because usually the road locker room is horrible and you're locked up inside that locker room. But you're right, they came out and dominated them. I don't know how good West Virginia is,
Right.
but they are hard to beat there. I thought it was very impressive. 35 points again for them. That they're not an offensive juggernaut, but you would think they're going to hold Bowling Green to 7 or so. So 42-7 gets you there. I'm not going to have anything to do with it though, because I don't like to bet Penn State at that high a point spread because of their offense.
Yep. I just think they'll blow them out. I think that was just a really, really good win for them.
It was.
And again, I expected them to win, but they really just kind of dominated. So that was good to see. This is a very interesting game.
It is.
Arkansas and Oklahoma State in Stillwater this weekend at Oklahoma State. Oklahoma State 7.5-point favorite. Now, remember, they were a 9.5-point favorite last week against San Diego State. And that was never a game. They dominated San Diego State from start to finish. Of course, Arkansas plays Arkansas Pine Bluff week 1. That's like you, me, Dennis, Curtis, and maybe Shoddy out there against Arkansas. That was horrific. I've never seen a team that bad in my life. Now, we learned nothing about Arkansas. We're going to learn about this week. We learned that Oklahoma State pretty good, or at least better than average, I would say, with that win. What happens here in Stillwater? 7.5-point favorite. So it's another line, very similar, obviously, well, the same as Michigan and Texas right now.
Yeah. I watched a lot of the Oklahoma State game. By the way, they played South Dakota State, not San Diego State.
Oh, did I say San Diego State? I meant South Dakota State.
I know.
Everybody knows. Yeah.
I know. And South Dakota State, I mean, they drubbed them, which kind of surprised me. I mean, I thought that they might pull away from them late, but they dominated them pretty much.
I was not expecting a Colorado, North Dakota State type of game, but I was expecting South Dakota State to hang with them. Yeah.
And I kicked myself all day for not making that a best bet because I really kept thinking to myself, they're only 9.5.
Yeah.
I just think a highly ranked team is going to cover that. Especially when it's your first game of the year. Now, if that was like the second or third game, say they had Arkansas first and then South Dakota State this week.
Yeah.
They might have overlooked it, but they had all summer long prepared for them. They were ready for them. They didn't overlook them. And a ranked good Division I team is going to beat the best of the next level. And they did. You're right. We don't know a thing about Arkansas. Absolutely nothing. We do know Oklahoma State is good. This is a huge game for them.
Yeah.
They used to play each other back in the day a lot. And I can't remember the last time they played.
I can't either.
It's a huge rivalry. It really is. There are a lot of Arkansas alums in Tulsa. And Tulsa's not very far from Stillwater. So it's a big game. I think they cover. I think it'll be a very interesting game. I think Arkansas will play well. I don't think they're good enough. So I'm going to take Oklahoma State to cover that.
I'm with you 100%. I'm taking Oklahoma State in this game. It's going to be one of my best bets. I really believe they have the experience edge in a big way. I know that the Arkansas has a lot of guys with experience, but not quite experience at Arkansas together. So I thought Arkansas looked pretty good week 1, but they should. I think this is such a big test. I have a lot of questions still at quarterback for Arkansas. I really do. And I think that's going to be the big thing. If Green can play decent, maybe they can cover or even pull the upset, but I've got more trust in Oklahoma State here. So I'm going to take.
I thought their quarterback looked good as well. In
Arkansas?
No. Oklahoma State.
Oh, talk about Bowman.
Absolutely. I thought Bowman looked good. And, every year they've got receivers.
Yeah.
They always have good receivers. And if he can throw the ball at all and he pound Gordon up the gut, I don't think Arkansas can stop him.
I don't either. And I think if it gets into that kind of situation, I don't think Arkansas will score enough to cover. So I'm with you. Yeah, we see
really
this.
Don't.
We see it exactly the same. All right, weird game here. Kansas State, a nice little win to start their season. Tulane as well. Both teams 1-0. K-State at Tulane. K-State a 10-point favorite. Tulane, very good team. They're coming to Norman next week. Will they come to Norman 2-0? I mean, this seems like a dangerous game for the Wildcats.
This is one that you might look at a little bit,
Yeah.
analyze. It's not easy going in there to win. K-State, we know, is very well coached. But, and I hate to say this because it's kind of not right. It's kind of degrading to them. Talent-wise, they don't get those 5 stars. They coach them up. And sometimes when you get in a game like this, Tulane's going to have similar talent to Kansas State.
Mm-hmm.
It's a huge game for the Green Wave. That's for sure. This is a marquee win if they can get it, which helps them down the road, later on getting into the playoffs perhaps. Yeah. I don't know if they're that good yet, but I think it's going to be close. So I'm going to take Tulane plus the points, but I think Kansas State wins.
I lean towards Kansas State to cover it. I'm not totally sold on this Tulane team this year. I think K-State might be pretty good. So I'm going to ride the K-State wave here, but this is a toughie. I will not bet much on that game because that's a really tough game for sure. All right, let's keep going here. Georgia Tech now 2-0. They go on the road this week to take on Syracuse. Georgia Tech, a 3-point favorite here at Syracuse. Of course, Kyle McCord, who started at Ohio State, now at Syracuse. He had a pretty good first game.
He did.
I think it's a pretty big game because if Georgia Tech can get this one, they're 3-0.
Tech's ranked, so it is a big game.
Yeah. Here's the thing. Now that we've seen Florida State twice, was that Georgia Tech win over Florida State that good of a win?
Well, if you're going to compare scores, Boston College should be ranked ahead of Georgia Tech, right? Because they drubbed them.
I think this could be Syracuse. I've got Syracuse in this game.
I cannot take Georgia Tech in this game. I just can't.
Yeah.
That is not an easy place to play.
Yeah.
I don't know how turned on they are up there. I mean, I have a feeling they're going to pack it.
Mm-hmm.
I just have a feeling they will. I mean, they may not pack it. That's a pretty big place, but I have a feeling they're going to have a really good crowd in there. They've got to be enthused about their quarterback. He gives them a chance. I think he's pretty good. Yeah. Tech took care of business last week impressively. I really think Tech is pretty good. So I can't take Syracuse either. I'm completely staying away from this one. This is just one I think it could go either way. If Tech doesn't turn it over, I think they beat them.
I'm not sure they beat them. I think
this is a good game.
I think this is a tough spot. If they win, that's a good win. Sit down for this one. If they win, it's probably the best of their 3 wins.
Well, I think so.
So
it's a true road game.
Kevin B said Kyle McCord actually looked good. Now, I think this is the perfect spot for Kyle McCord.
Oh, I do too.
I didn't think he was just pathetic last year. But he's never going to get it. He's not that type of guy, but he will be very much appreciated at Syracuse. And I can confirm by a couple of graduates, they're lucky they feel like they're lucky to have Kyle McCord. So
that's the best quarterback they've had since whatever that guy's name that played at Philly. I can't think of his name. He played for the Eagles 100 years ago. What the heck was his name?
Donovan McNabb?
Yeah. He's the best quarterback they've had since then. And what was that? Like in the 90s?
That was like 95. I think.
Yeah. Well, he's the best they've had since then.
Kevin B says Tommy DeVito. I was talking to Ricky about it, and he thinks Kyle McCord is better than Tommy DeVito. So you'll have to fight
Danny
Ricky
DeVito
over that
might have been better than Tommy DeVito.
All right, let's keep going. Georgia Tech, Tennessee Tech, and Georgia. No line here.
No.
We'll just skip in.
With good reason.
Yeah, I think that you probably would be safe to pick Georgia in that game on the money line if you can find that somewhere. Yeah, here we go. Syracuse has only had one 3,000-yard passer in school history. That was Ryan Nassib, and he was not good. So
I've never heard of him.
No, you have to.
No, I've not.
Yeah, you've watched him. You just don't remember him.
Well, I
All
don't
right.
watch a lot of Syracuse football.
Well, that's true as well.
I've
You
only
probably
watched them when we've been at the racetrack on a Friday night when they played Clemson. That's the only time I've ever watched.
we did watch them that night. I'm not
Yeah.
sure. I don't think Ryan Nassib was the quarterback then. So, all right, let's move on to Northern Illinois at Notre Dame. Notre Dame 28-point favorites, and you said it coming off that big win.
Yep.
Can they now, listen, these are games that Freeman has kind of struggled in and or lost games like
Yep.
this in the past. Will they kind of bounce out of that game and take care of business in this one?
Northern Illinois scored 50-some points last week.
I'm taking the 28
They were
in
Western Illinois who they played, but still, I don't see any way Notre Dame gets up for this game.
I don't either.
And this is the biggest game on Northern Illinois' schedule, and they're pretty good. They're always a decent team in the MAC.
Yeah.
Yeah, at 28, if they cover it, it'll be late, I think. And
I
so
agree.
I was not impressed with Notre Dame's offense at all.
No.
So again, you look at the spread, you think, well, if Northern Illinois can get to 20, they might cover this thing.
I think they get to 20, they will for sure.
Yeah. So I'm with you. If I would bet it, it would be Northern Illinois in the points.
Yeah.
But
I
it's
agree.
kind of sketchy.
All right, Baylor and Utah next here in Utah. Good win for both teams, really, but they played nobodies. Utah, 14-point favorite here. Welcome to the Big 12. First game against a Big 12 opponent, and it will be Baylor. What do you think of this one?
I'm all over Utah.
I am too. Big.
I think they win this one fairly easy.
I really liked what I saw out of Utah. And again, you can't really tell they played Southern Utah, but it was you can kind of see Cam Rising. He's like, okay, he's back. He's definitely, he looks fine. He was moving around. He threw the ball really well. Again, I'm not saying, oh man, they put up all these points. No, I just kind of wanted to look at him. Could he move? That stuff like that. He looked very, very good. I think the biggest thing for me is, and it doesn't have anything to do with last week, just overall, I know Utah's got a defense. I know they're going to hit you. I know they're going to be physical. I think they shut down Baylor. And when you can shut down a team, say, let's hold them to 10, 15, 14 maybe, and then you got Cam Rising on the other side, I think you're covering 14. So, I'm big on Utah. It sounds like Dennis is big on Utah and Kevin is, so there's an automatic loss for
I don't understand why it's only 14. They're not getting a lot of respect.
Hey, I don't understand why they were, quote unquote, only 35-point favorites last week. It's crazy.
They don't get much respect.
Yeah, I'm with you. I like them all year long too. So we'll see what happens there. All right, your favorite game of the year, and I can't believe that you are just chomping at the bit to talk about this one. Iowa State and Iowa. Oh boy, here it is again.
Yep.
Iowa, a 3-point favorite. Total sits at 35.5. Iowa looked good week one. I thought. Iowa State looked like Iowa State usually does in their first game. Not great, but won.
Yeah.
Iowa State just cannot beat Iowa. It feels like. Will it happen this year? That's the question.
Well, every year you kind of say, is this the year they're going to beat them?
Yeah.
But like you say, you can't. They can't. They can't beat them for some freaking reason.
Yep.
There's been years they've been better than Iowa.
Yep.
They seem to always make mistakes and give Iowa some points, and you can't do that in a game like this. The spread's only 3. The game's in Iowa City. I can't take the Cyclones.
Yep. I'm with Iowa as well. That total sits at 35.5. So they're expecting a high scoring affair there in Iowa City this weekend. It'll be interesting to see if that keeps going. All right. Jacksonville State on the road taking on Louisville. Louisville, 28-point favorites. They look good week one. They're playing nobody, but they did look good. They don't play that great of a team here. What do you they did not play well. Jacksonville State did not play well at all week one. 28 points, that's a lot, but
it is.
There you go.
I think we're thinking just alike again. I would really be all over Jacksonville State if they had showed a pulse last week, but they didn't. Yeah. I thought they pissed me off because that was one of my best bets, and I just thought they'd beat them, and they got steamrolled.
Oh, they got hammered.
There wasn't even a game, so I can't give them much hope. If Louisville's ready, I think they cover. Louisville's pretty good, and I'm going to go with them. I can't take Jacksonville State in this spot.
Yeah, I'm going to stay away. I'm not going to bet it either way, but I think Louisville I mean, they're way the team to beat, obviously, in this game. And I mean, they're the team to bet. I don't think you can bet Jacksonville State after what you saw. And if you want to bet it, I think Louisville is the play for sure.
Yeah.
All right, Middle Tennessee and Ole Miss. Ole Miss rolled week 1 against nobody. They got somebody, but still not much this week. Should be another easy win for Ole Miss. 41-point favorites. So I don't know what you want to do. Is this one you want to just pass?
Yeah, I normally stay away from them. Ole Miss may get bored with this early schedule. It's pretty weak.
Yep.
And sometimes you do.
Yep.
You know,
big games are coming too,
Yeah, and you're kind of just going through the motions down there. And
yep.
It's hard to keep them, at peak. And I don't know that you want them at peak at this time. You're not going to sit there and I don't think they're too worried about winning.
No.
I mean, you want to play well, but you're not going to get them at a fever pitch for this game. So Middle Tennessee is a decent team. They could come in there and keep that closer than that. But with Mississippi's offense, I just don't think you can take a chance and take Middle Tennessee in this game.
I think you lay it with Mississippi or you just stay away. I'm going to stay away, but I'm with you. I do not want to be sitting there at 6:00 on Saturday hoping Middle Tennessee gets a garbage touchdown or something to cover this. I just don't want to do it. No. And they might do it, but I don't want to sit there and root for that. So, yeah, it's a pass for me. Mm-hmm. Florida A&M and Miami, no line on that one, no reason to even discuss it. And then the revenge, quote-unquote revenge game for Alabama. If you forget, so South Florida comes to Alabama 31-point favorite. If you forget, South Florida had Alabama on the ropes last year in one of the worst games I've ever seen Alabama play. Mm-hmm. And they did win. This should be very different. Very, very different. I actually like playing Alabama here in this spot.
Well, this last year was the game. I could never figure out this one either. The quarterback, Milroe, had played well. The first game of the year or the week before? And he
played well game 1, and then they lost to Texas, and they benched him for this.
They benched him.
Yeah.
Okay, it's okay maybe to bench him, but he didn't play at all.
No, and they were
pathetic, and why they never put him in, I never did figure that out. Which tells me something maybe had happened that we don't know about. So,
they never came out and said it, but the speculation was he got suspended for something.
Yeah, something was up.
Because there's no way you could watch those other two kids. They played two kids. They were so bad.
Yeah, and he came back the next week, and he started the rest of the year, and look what happened. Alabama came on, played great the rest of the year. So it was really a weird situation. Yeah, I thought they were going to get beat. I really did. They were beat. They score like 12 points, 16, something like that.
I can't even remember, but it looked. I watched every play of the game, and I was like, "Wow, they're actually going to lose." 9-6 for a long time. Yeah.
And anyway, I don't think it's going to be this way this year. I mean, South Florida's really improved, and they're pretty good, and their defense is good, but I think Alabama rolls them. So I can't take South Florida.
No,
you just can't.
No, not at all. I think Alabama wins huge in this game. I wouldn't be afraid to play Alabama. All right, let's roll in. And now Missouri continues their tough tour across the country here as they take on these tough teams. Missouri is a 34.5-point favorite to take on Buffalo. Missouri has the weakest schedule ever for any SEC school because, they schedule their easy games, which I have no problem with that. And then they get an easy draw. Anyway, not going to get into it. 34.5-point favorite here against Buffalo. Anything to talk about?
I would take Missouri to cover this.
Yes, me too.
I mean, they're good. And again, they may get bored. Mm-hmm. You just don't know. But when you look at Missouri's schedule, and again, we're speculating because we don't know what's going to happen. They got to be pretty bad not to win 9.
Oh, yeah.
With that schedule. Yeah. And they're not bad. They're good.
No.
So if I was going to bet this one, I would be pretty confident in Missouri putting up 55, 56, and Buffalo 7.
Yep.
I think this is a blowout.
Yep. Should be an easy one. I agree as well. And Buffalo, not very good. Mildly interesting game here. Kansas goes on the road to take on Illinois. Both teams had wins in week 1. Contrasting styles, without any doubt. Illinois ground and pound. Kansas spread you out all over the field. KU 5-point favorite on the road. I don't have a clue. I'll just say that right away. I have no idea on this one. Well, I think what the decision you got to make, will speed win out or will strength win out?
The number 19 team in the country is only a 5-point favorite against a 4 or 5 win team.
Yeah.
If you're going to rank somebody 19th, then they should be double-digit point spread in this game.
Mm-hmm.
So whoever's ranking these teams, Vegas doesn't agree with them.
Right. Yeah.
And it's all based on reputation. I think Kansas beats the shit out of them.
Wow. Okay. All right. You're gonna go speed over strength. All right. You're gonna go Kansas.
Yeah, because strength can't catch speed.
Okay.
If Kansas doesn't turn it over, and if they play well, I think they beat them. They're pretty good. They beat some teams last year.
They're not bad. I don't think Illinois is bad either. I think.
I do.
Okay. All right. Well, maybe I've got Illinois overrated a little bit. I thought this would be a tough game for Kansas. So.
Well, I'm not saying it's not going to be. I mean, I think they pull away late. Mm-hmm. Just got to cover 5.
Well, yeah. I mean, yeah, exactly.
I mean, I'm thinking. Couldn't you see 34-24?
Yeah, I could.
So they cover.
I could see 24-17 Illinois.
I can't.
Okay. All right.
Unless Kansas quarterback gets hurt.
Well, that could happen at any second. I don't mean that is what it is. That's like a Bob Baffert trained horse. It's just one in a row. Yeah, one race and then hope for the next, right?
Exactly.
All right, let's keep going. Western Michigan and Ohio State. Ohio State 38-point favorites here. Good win, I thought, for Ohio State. Solid. But now another game against nobody. So 38 points. I think they should be able to cover it.
They should. Now, that game was a lot closer. That Akron game was like 17-3 in the third quarter.
Yeah,
and again, these teams are bored. I mean, you go through training camp all summer and fall, and then your first 2 games are Akron and Western Michigan. So you coach different when it's that kind. You try to find your best players. I'm sure they subbed a lot, trying to find different combinations and things like that.
Yeah.
We should see a better offensive effort out of them this week. Western Michigan's a lot better than Akron, but Ohio State should kill them.
Yeah. I'm not worried about Ohio State. Let's put it that way. I think they'll get better offensively. Like I said, they'll gel together. I think they'll be fine, and I think they'll cover this one.
Yeah, I'm not worried about them.
All right, Tennessee and North Carolina State. Very interesting game here. Tennessee's an 8-point favorite. Now, if you were following, Tennessee just destroyed Chattanooga. I mean, destroyed them. North Carolina State did not destroy who they played. It was close, and they were a little bit worrisome.
They were.
They're at home. They're underdogs. It's going to be crazy. This one, I would be careful to overreact to the first week because I just don't know. But I do think Tennessee's a much better, or I should say, I do think Tennessee's a much more talented team than North Carolina State.
They'll have more speed.
Yeah.
I was all over in the preseason, North Carolina State, and thought they might have a chance to upset them, and I still do. The game's in Charlotte, but you would think NC State will have more fans than Tennessee. I don't know, though.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know.
They may not. It depends on how that ticket distribution was. I'm sure it was probably 50-50, and that's not very far for Tennessee to travel. So it'll probably be maybe more Tennessee. But I think Tennessee's got too much for them. The only thing you got to look at is the points. And NC State was looking ahead. There's no doubt they were looking ahead.
Yeah.
And they're better than what they played. So I'm a little bit leery of taking Tennessee because we don't know for sure what they've got. So I can't take them. I'm just staying away from it. I'm just not. The 8 is just not. If it was 6, I'd take Tennessee. if it was 12, I'd take North Carolina State. It's just right in there where it's just so iffy. I just don't have a good feeling because I think NC State's pretty good, and I think they're going to play their ass off for this game. And they may jump on them. Who knows?
Yeah.
Tricky.
I think Tennessee will cover the game.
I think they will, but it's going to be tough. It's going to be late.
I just
You
think
they'll blow them out?
I think they'll out athlete them. I don't think they'll blow them out, but I think they'll win by 14 points.
Well, I'm going to tell you this: if they win by say 20, they're legit.
Let's pretend that Tennessee and Oklahoma they each cover the spreads right around where Vegas thinks they're going to win their games leading up to Oklahoma, Tennessee. Who's favored in that game, you think?
I think OU will because it's at Norman.
You think?
Yeah.
It can't be more than two or three either way, right? Yeah. Then that's assuming both teams just win kind of how Vegas
the way they're supposed to.
Yeah.
I think Tennessee will have the best win because this will be the best one. Say Tulane beats K-State, though, and then OU beats them. That's comparable to this. But I think playing in Norman might make the difference.
Yeah. All right.
We'll see.
That's going to be – I think – well, we'll talk about OU here in just a second, actually. Nichols and LSU, no line there. Should be a nice bounce back there for LSU. All right. Houston and Oklahoma. Well, we kind of thought this would be maybe not a huge challenge for Oklahoma. We thought it would be somewhat of a game. Houston just got destroyed they were really bad. OU 30-point favorite here. OU played quite possibly the worst quarterback to ever put on a uniform in a Division I, or I guess FBS now, team. It was brutal. The Oklahoma game, that's probably the most boring game I've ever watched. It was so boring. And it was boring for the fact that OU couldn't really do anything offensively. They have no offensive line, and they were really just crazy vanilla. And you knew after one possession, Temple, if they were going to score, it wasn't going to be much. So this looks like more of the same. I don't know what Houston has at all here.
Well, we talked about this a little bit. We know they have a great coach, but you can't go down with no talent. And they don't, again, I watched some of it because I thought they would beat UNLV, and they never had a chance.
Oh.
Their quarterback is pathetic. I thought he was awful, didn't you?
He looked gross.
Yes. They're painfully slow.
I'm sitting here going, okay, we played the Temple guy. Now we're going to play this Houston guy. I don't really, to be honest, did not watch Tulane. I don't know what they have, but
no, I didn't.
What Tennessee is going to bring to Norman is going to be vastly different than what we've seen so far.
Yeah, absolutely. And so I don't know. He's going to play just god awful not to cover.
I agree.
I think, and I'm not. I want to give Houston some respect because I have so much respect for the coach. I heard his press conference Monday, and he was optimistic because what else? He's trying to keep them together. He knows, it's going to be tough this week. He wasn't just blasting them at all. So, but he wasn't optimistic either. So,
right. Yeah,
if they don't cover 30, I think we've got major offensive problems.
I think we might have major offensive problems.
Well, we might, but okay. You got to decide what is the problem. Is it the offensive line?
Yes.
Is that your main problem? Well, we've seen some shaky offensive lines at the first of the year at OU in the past, and they seem to get straightened out. And there's a couple of guys didn't play. That was hurt, that will help. I'm not that worried about it because I just feel like with our offensive line coach, he figures stuff out, and if there's any talent there, they'll be okay.
All right.
I'm more concerned they've now got two of their best receivers out for the season.
Yep.
That worries me more than anything.
Yep.
That, and they're going to have to play the right people at running back, looks like.
Well,
I don't know if you heard Venable's press conference.
I did not.
Yesterday, I think it was.
To be honest, I don't think we're very good
on offense.
Oh, let me back up. I think defensively, they're going to be good.
Yeah.
I am on a scale of 1 to 10. I'm like a 9, worried about the offense.
Yeah, I am too. And it starts up front. And
it's what we said though. Just to chime in, you better have some offense. I don't care how good your defense is, right?
Yeah,
that's my worry. But go ahead.
Well, they asked him about the freshman running back that looks so good.
He needs to start, but go ahead.
And he said, "Well, guys, yeah, he played well, but some days he's way out here, and other days he's where you want him, and most of the time he's way out here." So he said he's got to develop some consistency to where we have trust in him. But he said, yes, he did play well, and his talent is unbelievable. So Venables is all about maturity and things like that, and that's what he's about. And it's funny hearing him talk about.
Well, that means we're not going to see him when the SEC schedule starts. We're not going to see.
Well, unless he gets to where he's doing what they want him to do, and I think it's a matter of off the field as well as on the field.
Yeah,
I don't think he's giving class a whole lot of looks, maybe.
Okay. Well, that makes more sense because when you walk out there, you're like, oh, yeah, he's the best back.
Yeah.
I don't even need to see him carry the ball. Like, see.
Venables with freshmen, with anybody really, it's all about accountability to him.
Yeah.
And that's just the way he is. And he's not, there's something he's not doing that they don't like. So
I can say from a fan, this might be a lot of my panic or boredom or whatever is possibly on me. I think from a fan standpoint, we've just heard about this SEC schedule so much. I want to just get these 3 games done and over with and get to the Tennessee game. I can't get excited until the Tennessee game because of the buildup of this schedule, you know?
I can't. This is dumb. I can't tell you how much I'm dreading going to this game. It's at 6:45.
Yeah, I know.
I know. I have no enthusiasm whatsoever.
I would have if Houston would have won or played really well. I was actually excited for this game,
but they were awful.
They were so bad that it's like, oh God, not again.
Now they'll play a lot better. You watch.
I don't know. Hopefully we win, and it's not. It's okay. I don't know. All right, let's keep going. We got Appalachian State and Clemson up next here. Clemson, 17-point favorites at home. Appalachian State, not too bad. I think this might be interesting.
Give me App State plus 17 in this
Me
one.
too.
I think they play them tough. This is a pretty good team. Clemson is really struggling. Yep. You know the grumbling is going on down there. They're throwing a fit.
Oh, yeah.
And there's going to be some turmoil in that locker room, I think. I mean, I like Dabo, and I think he's at his best in situations like this. And they can come out with their hair on fire and get them. And again, you can't play too much stock in what happened with Georgia.
No.
Georgia's going to do that to a lot of teams when you don't have any offense.
Yeah.
So they'll play a lot better this week, but I don't know if they cover 17 against a pretty decent Appalachian State team.
Yep. I'm with you. I'm taking Appalachian State in this one. Boise State on the road here against Oregon. This is a huge game. Boise State is one of those teams that down there at the bottom that are at the group of 5 or whatever the hell they're calling them, that trying to get in to the playoff. It would go a long ways if they went to Oregon and won. Vegas did not take too much stock in just almost losing last week to Idaho. 19.5-point favorite here against Boise. What do you think?
I watched some of that Boise State Georgia Southern game, and Boise has no defense, and I don't think that stacks up well going to Oregon, where you're going to face the Ducks. They're going to be much more ready for this one.
Yep.
So I can't take – if Boise State had played a little better defense, maybe, because I do think they'll score, but I don't think they can stop Oregon. I think Oregon will play a lot better to cover.
Once I saw the box score, I wasn't quite as worried. Once I saw all the yards they put up, I think Oregon covers. I think they'll be able to get it done this week. I really do. Northern Arizona and Arizona, no line on that one. And then finally, USC to close out the night. They are taking on Utah State. USC 28.5-point favorites in this one.
They've lost a day of preparation because they played on Sunday.
Mm-hmm.
That's a lot of points. Huge win over LSU. Utah State usually wins 6 or 7. Give me the Aggies plus 28.5.
Oh no, USC all the way. I've got them going to the playoff now. I do. This is one of those weird games, right?
It is.
I don't know what is Utah State any good. I think that's the.
I don't know, but I just think USC may be a little flat.
Yeah, they could. They definitely could be. I'll take USC. I think they'll.
I'm only going to bet a nickel.
Okay, well. Okay, well, if you're up or down, this is your getaway game, I guess. So you'll kind of just have to make that decision.
That's right.
Late at night. So
That's right.
I'll probably not bet too much on this one either. All right. Oh shit! I should have kept that up. Oh, hold on. Let me go back, folks. We had some other games from the Discord I wanted to talk about.
All right.
I had a request here. Let me get back here, and I will read some of these games. You probably have some more as well, don't you?
I have some. There wasn't much this week.
Okay.
So insignificant, goofy games.
Oh, definitely. So this is from Rob, and Rob's been in the chat here. Rob W, I should say.
Okay.
From the Discord, Duke plus 2.5. It's now plus 3 against Northwestern. That's Friday night. What do you think about that play?
So is he on Duke?
He's on Duke plus 2.5, now plus 3. If you want
I think that's a good bet.
Okay. You like that one?
I think it could happen.
He's got Georgia Southern Nevada over 57.5.
And that's nice. I've got that game. Georgia Southern's a 1.5 point favorite. I've seen Nevada against SMU. Then they went to Troy and won. Give me Nevada to win.
So you like Nevada to win, and you said you did like the over. Okay.
I do.
Rob keeps going here. Northern Illinois plus 28. We've kind of covered that one.
We covered that one. I like that too.
Here's a good game. Washington State and Texas Tech.
Yes.
He likes Washington State on the money line.
What is that? 12?
Let me see. Let me pull this one up.
I think it's minus 12.
Let me get to the Big 12.
He's picking them to win.
Let's see. Washington State, Texas
Tech was
Tech. There it is. It's 2.5.
2.5. And it's at Washington State.
12, 2.5, about the same, right? Washington, yes, it is at Washington State.
Yeah, I like that.
Do you?
I do. Okay. I've got it circled.
I wouldn't play Texas Tech on the road with stolen money. So
no, and they should have lost to Abilene Christian.
I mean,
Abilene Christian, it was 52-51, and they went for 2 in overtime and didn't get it.
Yep.
They could have lost.
Yep.
Absolutely. Yeah, I like it.
Okay. Dennis has a couple if you want to go through these.
That's good.
He is taking Kentucky minus 10 as they take on South Carolina.
That game is in Kentucky.
Uh-huh.
Oh, I tell you, Kentucky beat me last week. I put them in there right at the last. They were 26.5 point favorites. They scored at the last to win 31-0. I had that one covered. I wasn't impressed with them. South Carolina barely beat Old Dominion. That's a good one. I think I would have to take Kentucky.
I would totally stay away from that game.
Okay.
I don't think Kentucky's very good either. I would not completely overreact to that South Carolina. I would be careful with that one. He also has Alabama first quarter minus 7.5 or Alabama South Florida over 14 in the first quarter. I like that one much, much better.
Over 14 in the first quarter?
No, I like both of those better than the Kentucky play.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I like those a lot.
Well, if it's going to go over, then Alabama's going to have to score all 14 points, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Well, they're going to have to score more than 14 points.
I think they will.
In the first quarter?
Yeah.
I don't know. South Florida's not bad. I like the minus 7.5 better.
Okay. You like the minus 7.5 better than the 14?
Yep.
And then let's see. He's going to take Penn State as well. We kind of talked about that one. That's
okay. Yeah, I think that if they're ready, I think that's legit.
And from earlier, he got Texas at 4.5.
Oh,
yeah, and we would agree with that for sure.
Yeah.
Let's see if they give us some Ole Miss anytime touchdown scores this week. Yeah, so he's saying he's going to play some Ole Miss people to score, and that's probably pretty fair. All right. Any other games?
Just a couple real quick.
Okay.
I like this one. Virginia Tech is a 19.5 point favorite over Marshall.
Okay.
Now, game's in Tech, but Marshall's not bad. The Tech team I saw last week, I don't think can cover 19.5.
20 and
Especially
a half
with the quarterback. I don't know if he's going to play.
Yeah.
So I like that one. How about Nebraska? What do you think? 7.5 over Colorado.
Oh boy.
That's a big game.
It's a huge game for both teams.
It is. It's going to be a fun game too.
I was not able to see Nebraska. I did read the stat or the box score, read the box score, and I thought
they did what they were supposed to.
Yeah. I do not like Colorado outside of 2 players. So I kind of think I'm going to take Nebraska on this one. But you know what? They still are not, to me, over the hump. So it's a little scary. But I do think Nebraska is a better team than North Dakota State. And it's at Nebraska, so I think Nebraska's a play.
Yeah. Now, the 2 kids on Colorado is better than anything Nebraska's got, probably.
I think they're more explosive. Yeah.
They are.
But after that, that Colorado team is not great.
Yeah. So I like Nebraska.
Yep.
Another one kind of insignificant. Well, not really. Arizona State, 6.5 over Mississippi State.
Okay.
Now, Arizona State's not supposed to be any good.
Right.
And that's an SEC team going in there.
Late
I just threw that out. I don't think I got the guts to bet it because I don't know what Mississippi State's got, but I could see them winning that game.
That's my problem with I don't know what Mississippi State is.
No. And another one, Ohio, who's usually pretty good in the MAC, is an underdog, or they were, now that may have changed, against South Alabama.
Let's see. They are a 1.5 point underdog. Yes.
I got Ohio all the way.
Ohio. Okay.
I think they win.
All right.
They played Syracuse pretty good last week. South Alabama got killed.
Okay.
It's in wherever that is.
Athens, Ohio.
I know, but I can't remember. Oh, there we go. Athens. Yeah. So I like that one.
Okay.
There really isn't much else this week.
It's not a great week. I only liked 2 games a ton, and that was Utah -14 and Oklahoma State -7.5.
By the way, my BYU came through fairly easy.
I played that one as well. You made a good case for that one. And listen, last week was good. I had Hawaii +14. They covered. BYU -14. They were able to cover. And then Georgia. So
yeah, I had those 3 and I had one other one. That damn Houston killed me. Kentucky beat me right there at the end. Yeah. And I can't remember the other one I had, but real quick, Army goes to Florida Atlantic.
Okay.
Florida Atlantic played really well last week. I can't remember who they played. It was a Big Ten school.
Where the hell is this game?
Well, that would be.
Are they not in
they're in
anymore?
They're in the AAC. I thought they were in the AAC.
Okay. All right. We'll get there. Here we go. Yeah. Florida Atlantic, 4-point favorite.
It's up to 4 now.
Mm-hmm.
I think they cover that. It was 3.
Okay.
I can't remember who they played, but it was. You're
talking about Florida Atlantic lost.
I know, but they played well.
Oh, Michigan State,
16 to 10.
Yeah.
Well, if they play them to 16 to 10, I would have to think they're going to. I like Tom Herman. I think he's a good coach.
Really?
I do.
Okay.
He's down there. I think they cover that. And then one of my favorite teams, of course, is always Tulsa. They're 7-point dogs against Arkansas State.
Yeah.
That's in Jonesboro. 7.5 now.
Yep.
I don't know. So anyway, let's go to the pros.
All right. So that's your college football roundup there. We'll go to the NFL now, and we'll go to tomorrow. Tomorrow opens it up. We're usually leery of laying points with the Chiefs in the regular season, I should add. Oh, yeah. They're at home. They're taking on Lamar Jackson and the Ravens. The Chiefs are a 3-point favorite. Who you got to kick off the season?
You hit the nail on the head.
Yeah.
We usually lose when they're bigger favorites than that.
True.
Generally, they're pretty reliable when it's 3 or under. Best bet for me tomorrow, Chiefs -3.
All right, Chiefs -3 for you tomorrow as they take on the Ravens. Let's go to Friday. And we got the Packers and the Eagles overseas here, and the Eagles are a 3-point favorite. This is an interesting game. Should be a good one. Who you like?
Well, I think you're an idiot if you bet this.
Yeah, I wouldn't bet
because
it either.
it's in freaking Brazil.
Yep.
I just don't. I'm staying completely away from this because I don't know how either one of these teams are going to react to going to Brazil to play. And they're both good.
Give me the underdog, I think. I like the Packers.
Yeah, I kind of think they should be favored after the way the Eagles finished the season last year.
Yep.
I don't like these games.
Yeah.
I mean, when they're, first of all.
Well, when they go over to London, it's
hard.
Great either. Yeah.
I just don't know why the NFL sends a marquee game to Brazil.
Yeah.
I mean, these two teams are, look at the uniforms. I mean, why would you send a marquee game to Brazil?
Yeah, I don't know.
Brazil doesn't know anything about the Packers and the Eagles.
Right. Yeah. I don't know. I don't know why
send the Panthers and the Cardinals down there. They don't care.
Right. Exactly.
I don't get it. But anyway, $253 for a ticket.
Yeah, I mean they're excited, obviously, for the game, and like I said, I think give me the Packers, give me the upset.
Yeah, if I was going to bet it, I would too.
Yeah. All right. Well, then Sunday will be here. The Red Zone is back. My favorite channel on Sunday to just chill out, watch the Red Zone. Steelers and the Falcons will kick it off here. The Falcons 3.5-point favorites against the Steelers. This is one of those games. Everything says, "Oh, Falcons," but the Steelers will go in and win this game. I feel like
probably.
Give me the Steelers.
Well, last year on opening day, I went 5-11. That's a good start to your NFL season. I was behind the 8 ball the whole year trying to get caught back up because you just don't know what's going to happen. And that was just betting them straight up. That wasn't points. I'm with you. If Cousins is any good and the Falcons are any good, how do they not win?
Because it's the Steelers.
That's right. I have to take the Falcons. I just don't think the Steelers are very good.
Rob says he's 0-34 with picking the Steelers the last 2 years. I believe it,
Rob.
I absolutely believe it. Yeah.
Yep. They're tough.
Yep. All right, let's keep going here. Cardinals and the Bills. The Bills 6.5-point favorites here against the Cardinals.
You need to go this one. You're the Cardinal guy. I mean, are you optimistic they're going to go in there and play them close?
Yep. Cardinals will beat them straight up.
No, I don't think so. But anyway.
So to be clear, my number one goal as a handicapper this year was to vastly improve for college football.
You're off to a good start.
I have worked my ass off on college football because it's been embarrassing the last 2 seasons. And I'm off to a 5-0-1 start.
Whoa.
And a lot of my team totals that I bet over under on already look good week 1. So I'm feeling great. But the flip side of it is I did not study the NFL quite as hard. So, but I think the Cardinals will beat the Bills. Yes, I'm picking that as
they're going to win.
Yeah, they're going to win.
I'll go the other way, and I'll say Buffalo covers.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. Sounds good. Titans and the Bears. Who you got?
I just think Tennessee's going to be awful. I don't know about the Bears. 4 points. I'm going to go ahead and go with them.
I'll go with the Bears. I hate that, but I'm going to go with the Bears.
They'll
probably win by 1 or lose, but
yeah,
I'll go with the Bears. Bears -4.
I'm seeing 17-14 is what I'm seeing.
Probably, and they'll have every chance to cover and won't. That's how I feel about it. All right, let's keep going. Patriots and the Bengals. Listen. I don't know how the Patriots are going to play this game close. I took Cincinnati, but it feels like a fishy line to me.
It does. It should be 10 or 11, I think.
Yeah.
12 maybe. I don't know what's going on, but I can't take the Patriots, so I got to go the Bengals.
All right, let's keep going here with the Texans and the Colts. This would be a great game. I want to lean Colts +3. Talk me out of it.
Nope, that's my upset special.
Okay.
Not totally sold on the Texans.
I think the Colts are going to be decent. I think this is a very tough game.
I do too, and I think they're going to get them.
Wow. All right, Colts for both of us. So we'll see what happens. I'm not going to play him money line. I'm going to play him +3.
Definitely.
Okay. Jaguars and the Dolphins, a battle of Florida here. Let's see, Dolphins 3.5-point favorites.
Are you surprised it's only 3.5?
People kind of overvalue the Jaguars, in my opinion. I'm on the Dolphins big time here.
Yeah, I think this could be a best bet.
Yeah, I'm excited.
What do I know? I went 5-11 last year, so
well,
it's just money line.
Love it.
I like the Dolphins to cover that.
Okay.
I mean, that just jumped out at me, but
all right.
I don't know.
Okay. Panthers and the Saints next. I'm with you on the Dolphins, by the way. Panthers and the Saints, two teams I hate.
Yep.
The Saints 4-point favorites. Feels like they should cover that, but I think I would rather eat glass than bet the Saints.
I never get the Saints right. Never.
Rob said something about the Steelers. He's 0 for 34. I don't think I've got a Saints game right since like the COVID year, maybe.
Since Drew Brees played.
Yeah. Should the Saints not? I mean, I shouldn't say
they should win this game at least 21-10.
Yeah. But Kevin B said Panthers make me sick. They are horrible to watch. Yeah.
Well, they're boring. Yeah.
Yeah. Saints by 3. But here's the deal. Do you want to take the Saints, or do you want to sit there and take 4 points with the Panthers and have to watch the Panthers?
No.
I can't do it either way.
Well, there's one thing about it. If you don't pick the game, you don't have to watch it.
True.
So there is a silver lining to not picking this game.
True.
If you pick it, you have to watch it.
Yep. True.
Remember that when you're picking, folks.
So don't watch it. Don't pick it. Don't watch it. All right. Vikings and the Giants. God, it's back. These horrible games are back. Vikings and the Giants. The Vikings. I think the Giants are going to win. The Vikings are 1.5-point favorites.
I can't believe they're favored.
Yeah.
They're awful.
Ah, give me the Giants.
Me too.
Yep. Okay.
We're going to miss that one. I guarantee it.
These games they want to make me throw up just reading this again. The Raiders and the Chargers. What a mess. The Raiders have been a mess. Chargers lost all their players, but they did finally get a real coach. Chargers are 3-point favorites here. It's a game that's in Los Angeles, but all the fans will be Raiders fans.
Oh, yeah.
This is just a mess. I don't know what to do with it.
It's kind of ironic. When the Raiders were in LA, they didn't draw. And now they're back in LA and they'll have all the fans.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, it's weird. So I like what you said. They lost all their players, but they gained a coach. So I guess you try to decide, okay, are the players more important or is the coach? And I always say it's the players, but they still got Herbert and they still have some players. You know, they're still decent.
Yeah.
3. Nope, I can't bet them. I miss them every week. I don't care who the coach is. I got to see a game or two. Staying away from it.
Yeah, I just, again, you got to be on drugs. You got to be on drugs to bet these games. Some of them. I mean, it's just, I don't know. Let's keep going here. Broncos and the Seahawks. Seahawks are a 6-point favorite. Really? That seems like a lot of points.
It does.
I think I don't know that I'm going to bet this game, but I think the Broncos are a little better than what people think. I don't know that this is one they're going to win. I would lean Denver if I'm going to tell you, hey, who do you think I should bet here? I would tell you Denver +6. What about you?
Me too.
Yeah.
I don't know if they're going to win, but I don't know if they're going to lose by more than 6.
Kevin B says if you bet Bo Nix, you deserve prison.
Well, I guess that's what I deserve.
I just said though I'm not betting the game, but I do think Denver will be a little better. I do, but 6 points it seems like a lot in the NFL.
I think so.
Oh boy,
Yeah. This one's hard.
two teams you really can trust: the Cowboys and the Browns. The Browns are 2.5-point favorites. They are at home.
Yeah. You know what?
I lean
People
Cleveland.
don't like Dallas. Vegas doesn't like Dallas.
I don't like Dallas that well. I lean
When's
Cleveland.
the last time Dallas would have not been favored in this game? I think they usually are.
Now to kind of counteract that, Cleveland had a very good year last year. So
Well, they did.
I can see why they're favored.
But Dallas won more games than they did.
Yeah, I can still see why they're favored.
But Dallas is America's team.
Yeah, I know.
And I find that the point I'm trying to make is they usually are overvalued in Vegas.
Mm-hmm.
So they don't like them.
Mm-hmm.
Well, is the dumbass going to play for the Browns? I mean, hell, he decides like 3 days before the game whether he wants to play or not.
Right. Yeah.
Is Chubb out?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
God, this is hard. This one's hard. So you stay away from it. I mean, I want to take Dallas.
We'll take them.
I kind of do. But then you got to bet on Prescott. Ah, God.
I don't think Prescott on the road sounds like a lot of fun. I'm taking
No,
Cleveland.
I don't either. Does Cleveland have another running back?
Yeah, no, they'll be fine. They'll be fine.
Are they? Yeah.
Oh, yeah. The quarterback's the problem in Cleveland. Their running game will be fine. I tell you, I'll seriously, I've watched a lot of Cleveland over the last several years now.
Yeah.
Stefanski will find a way to run the ball. They'll be fine there.
If they can run it, I think they win it.
They'll win. Yeah.
Okay.
All right, let's keep her rolling. We're going to go the Commanders and the Buccaneers. This is the one we've all been waiting for. Should be exciting. Buccaneers 3-point favorites at home.
I can tell you.
What do you say about this one?
Okay, I'm just going to say this. If Tampa doesn't win this game, they're not going to win the division. I'm writing them off in game 1.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
When you look at their schedule and all the first place teams they have to play, when they were the worst first place team maybe ever, they have to win these kind of games.
Yeah, if Dennis says he thinks Washington can upset them if they do, I mean, that's not good for Tampa.
Well, I think they can upset them too.
Yeah.
They have to win this game. They have to.
Mm-hmm.
I'm writing them off after the first week if they don't win this game. I think they do.
I think they do too. Yeah. I think they do too. Yeah. All right. Let's keep on going. 2 to go here. We've got the Rams and the Lions. Now, this is going to be a great game. The Lions are 3.5-point favorites here against the Rams on Sunday night. Who you got?
Well, I know who you got.
Yep.
I'm a little bit higher on Detroit than a lot of people. I think they're sneaky good.
Oh, they're good.
Yeah. I think they're almost great.
Yeah.
If Goff has another good year, they can stay healthy and everything. I'm going to take them. I know you're going to take the Rams, and that's fine. I mean, I can't argue with you either on that.
Yep.
But I'm going to take the Lions to win at home.
Yeah, give me the Rams plus 3.5. I think the Lions could win, but I think this will be a very, very close game. I want that 3.5 points. So give me the.
What do you think about the total? I mean, Detroit's high scoring, but
I think it goes over.
Yeah, I would too.
I think it goes over. Yeah.
Somebody's going to have to score 30 though.
It's funny how we can fluctuate with NFL games. Like you go through some of these, it's like, oh my God, it's gonna be a disaster. And you get to this one, it's like, oh no, this is good. This is
a good game.
Yeah, it'll be a great game. So that's the thing. You realize it when you start going through these games again. It's like, oh no, they're back. And then some of them are like, oh, that might be the best game we see all week. Yeah.
Well, the one tomorrow night's good.
Oh yeah, no, yeah, the one tomorrow night, even the one Friday night, even though it's overseas, that's a good game.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and speaking of good games, the Monday night game is really good. The Jets, hopefully with a healthy Aaron Rodgers all season, I say hopefully as a fan of football, going up against the 49ers. 49ers 4.5-point favorites here at home to round out the week. Who you got?
I haven't followed it a whole lot, but I was listening to something yesterday. Are the 49ers in some turmoil?
No, they're just their guys held out. Now they're re-signing them.
But they're going to play.
Ayuk is playing for sure, and I think Trent Williams will be playing as well.
Well,
Yeah.
again, this just shows you that.
These every year we do this, and every year it's the same shit. They're just getting out of training camp, trying to get more money. They hold out. We're not giving it to them. Well, we're not playing. Finally, they give it to them. That's what's happened here as well.
Because they have to. And so they said, well, give it to them, get it over with.
Mm-hmm.
If they're ready and these guys are active enough to play, I guess they've been working out or whatever. I like the Niners. I don't think the Jets are that good.
Yeah, I think the Niners are the safer play here. I'm with you. Yep, I'll take the Niners.
I got to see Rodgers. I've got to see them before I'm going to get on the bandwagon. I know what the 49ers are.
Kevin says Giants-Vikings going to be a fun game. I don't know that I believe him.
I don't think it's going to be a fun game for me, but
I don't think it's going to be.
Obviously, Kevin, you like the Giants, so that's your team. So it will be fun if they win.
Yep. I watch the Giants because Heather's family likes the Giants. So
okay.
I haven't had a lot of fun watching them.
No, luckily I don't have to watch them. So,
Okay. Any other topics you want to discuss?
I don't think so. Oh my gosh, what else is good? What else is there?
Yeah,
I mean, we got in baseball right now. How about the Yankees and the Orioles? They're just back and forth.
Baseball, yeah. Let's get to that real quick. Get to the standings here.
The
Orioles now have that half game lead after last night.
So, I have actually been watching baseball. So
watching baseball.
Yes, I have.
Of course, you've been watching it.
No, I haven't, but I have lately. And how about the Royals? They get up there within a game of first place, and then they drop 7 in a row.
Yeah, I know it. In the last show, we were like, well, they finally lost one, but boy, they've been playing great, and they haven't won since we said that.
No, they went to Cleveland. I think they won 3 out of 4. Then Cleveland came to Kansas City and swept them.
Right. Kansas City sitting 5.5 games out now. Yeah,
they're pretty solid in the wild card, though, because Boston has decided never to win another game.
Yeah, I'll get to the wild card in a second. So, just like I said, the Orioles half game ahead. That's going to come down to the wire.
Mm-hmm.
Cleveland starts to establish themselves again.
Yep.
Houston has ran away with this. This is over in the West.
That's over because those teams are just. You know who may be the second best team is Oakland. They're playing good.
Oakland deserves a ton of credit.
They do.
They really, really, really do. Give Oakland a ton of credit. They've been well above expectations.
How about the White Sox?
Well, they have been well below expectations.
This is the worst team in history.
Yeah.
They're awful.
They're very bad.
They've went like 4-40.
It's
bad.
They've lost 12 in a row.
10 in a row.
Yeah, bad. Look at this. They've been outscored by 310 runs.
Yeah.
The next worst is 214, the Rockies.
Yeah.
Man,
that's
bad. National League, the East is done. Phillies are going to win that. The Central's been done for weeks. Brewers are going to win that. Mm-hmm. This got close. The West got close, but the Dodgers have re-rallied. They've kind of got healthy. They're going to win this thing comfortably.
I think so. And these other two teams have played well.
That's just it. The Padres and we'll get to the wild card in a second. Padres and Diamondbacks played great, and they were making up ground. But boy, the Dodgers won 3 out of 4 against Arizona this last weekend, and they've really come on again. Yeah, they're wild card. You mentioned it, Yankees or Orioles, whoever in that top spot, they're going to be clear. Minnesota and Kansas City, like you said, they also both look well, because they're 4.5 games ahead of Detroit and Boston, and then 5.5 ahead of Seattle. I will say this: I think Detroit is one of the hottest teams
they're pretty good
in baseball right now. Skubal has been lights out.
He is good.
I don't think they're going to make it. I don't think they're going to make it, but you got to give them credit. They're pretty darn good.
I would say a winning season is what is a legitimate goal for them.
Mm-hmm.
and then get some players. And I think they traded a pitcher or two at the deadline too. They probably wish they had him back. I had one of those back, but they made a good run. They're very improved. If the Royals don't get straightened out, they probably have some games left with them. I wouldn't be surprised. So
let's see what the Royals have
they
left.
haven't got this thing locked up yet.
They definitely do not. I have not seen past this week for the Royals. So let's see. The Royals, they're at home against Minnesota next. After this game with Cleveland, they go to New York. That won't be easy. Pittsburgh.
No.
Yeah, there's 3 games right there with Detroit in Kansas City. They look at this. They do finish in Atlanta. That'll be tough, but some easier games.
Those games in Pittsburgh won't be easy. They got to face Skeens.
Skeens is scheduled to start as of now, so that won't be easy for sure. No. It could come down to these. I mean, if Detroit keeps playing well, this 16th, 17th, and 18th right here could be interesting.
They could.
Okay, so that's the AL wild card. We'll go quickly to the NL wild card. There's not a ton to talk about, really.
Well, there's one.
Well, there's one. Right. San Diego and the Diamondbacks, they seem to be in a real good spot. They're the Braves, who are still playing decent.
Yeah, but the
Mets have really come on. 6 straight wins. The Mets now just a half game behind the Braves.
I've watched the Mets the last 2 nights because I've had them as my best bets. And they really they look good right now. They're on fire.
Well, and the Cubs had been playing good, but they lost 2 in a row here, but they've been playing good too. Yeah.
They need to get back and go, and they're not that good, but they've still got a chance, but I don't think they can reel off enough wins. But
no,
the Mets have got their bullpen straightened out a little bit. It was killing them, and it's been a little bit better, and they've got a really good lineup.
Yep.
They're kind of fun to watch. I've kind of gotten into them. Well, of course, they've won for me the last couple of nights, but they can catch the Braves.
And then the Cardinals here at 5.5 back, they're still clinging on. They win on the road and won 2 out of 3 in New York, and they've split so
really
far
impressive
here in Milwaukee. So
it was a good win last night.
I kind of thought these 6 games would eliminate the Cardinals, but they've hung in there. So their schedule gets light the rest of the season.
It gets better.
Yeah.
They have 23 games left.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think it's likely, but
they got to win 16 or 17 more than likely. I don't think they can do that.
Yeah.
They just don't have the pitching staff to go on a winning streak.
I agree.
Probably.
I agree 100%.
This is a huge game for them today.
Big games coming up. We'll see what happens. I said San Diego and Arizona seem safe, but with these teams creeping up, we could see what happens.
The Mets are dangerous.
The Mets are very dangerous.
Mm-hmm.
And I think, I gave the Braves credit for hanging in there, but the Mets may catch them. So we'll see.
Yeah.
All right. Anything else before we get out of here?
Playing the Rockies, they got to beat them. They can't slip up against those teams. You cannot.
Well, and that's going to be the key to the next 2 weeks or 3 weeks of the season.
Yeah.
Baseball is kind of one of those situations you look at. Okay, we got 3 with the Rockies. Well, that's 3 wins. It's not that easy in baseball. So
Miami's one of those teams that can beat you.
Yep.
They're not bad. And the Rockies are, and if you got some games with like Pittsburgh or Washington, that's not much fun either.
Nope.
And so the only team you want to make sure you play is the White Sox.
The White Sox you can usually beat. Yes, that's right.
That's why Baltimore's gotten back in first place. They're playing the White Sox.
And I don't know, playoff baseball very different from regular season baseball, but the Yankees in Baltimore, they're both very good.
Oh, they're good.
Both very, very good. Yeah.
Yeah.
So thoughts on the hopeful. That was an odd race. I thought Chancellor McPatrick was good, really good. And Ferocious just decided he wasn't going to run until Chancellor McPatrick ran, and then he just stuck on him like glue. So I don't know. It was a weird one. It was weird, but I think the top 2 horses are good out of there. I do. So that's that. All right. Anything else?
No, I think we covered it.
All right. We're good to go.
Yep.
All right. That'll do it for today. Tomorrow we will be back with, we're going to have Blinkers Off in the afternoon. We will have Magic Mike show, and then we'll also have the Hawthorne show. The Hawthorne show is coming back tomorrow, so should be a lot of fun. All right, guys, We're going to get out of here for now. Everybody have a good weekend here betting all the college football and, of course, the NFL. And we'll see you guys right back here next week.